DDR3. Let's look at the lowest one they got. Here we go. 24. DDR3. Look at this. Let's go to 100 and look at that. I'm not trying to trick here. Lowest price 144. That is unreasonably high. It doesn't even come with nice heat spreaders. Look at that. Those are very blah chips. Let's look at the let's look at timing, because that's how you register. It doesn't even show the timings. Let's go to a different chip. Maybe it will. Here we go. Now timing. You want the highest timing on RAM. That's what you need. Look, here we go. DDR2 800 66618. DDR3. What do we got? 77724. Not a huge difference, guys. Not really. Cat's latency. That's another thing you want to look at. You want the highest. That's 6. DDR3. That's 7. You're dropping double the price for 10% performance increase. Don't do it. Not worth it. Sorry. Go DDR2 800 or go DDR2 1066, depending on what your board is designed to handle. Always go with the recommended. A board that supports DDR 1066 will run DDR2 800, but I would recommend going with what the board was designed to run. Also, one more thing on memory. Do not mix and match. Do not have a DDR2 800 do not have a DDR2 1066 on the same board, because it will run, but it will slow down the DDR2 1066 to run at the same clock speed as the DDR2 800, which is not designed to do, which means you'll be looking at worse performance out of that 1066 than that 800. Sorry, that's how it works. I'd recommend even going the same brand, go the same model. If you're gonna buy RAM, get all the same chips. Don't run to Best Buy and grab some off-RAM, because it might not be the same performance rating. It might not be as fast, it might not be as good quality as the other chip you have. So that would be my recommendation on memory. And now we're going to look at power supplies. So here's how it goes for power supplies. There's 3 tiers: mid, high, and extreme. I personally like Antec, so that's the brands I'm going to show you today. Now, for our mid-range, if you're running, 8 series, 9 series, 3 low-end 3, low-end 4 series from ATI and NVIDIA, you're running even high-end dual to mid-range quad. You want about a 550 watt to 650 watt power supply. That's what you're going to need to run. Now, this is the Antec Neo Power, and customer reviews here. 339, and we have 59% on the 5-star, 8 on the 4, 6 on the 3, 13 on the 2, 14 on the 1. So it's a very, very widely ranged. It doesn't have like 10 reviews on it, and they're all 4-star. It's got 339. So a lot of people buy this. It's a trusted power supply. Will support SLI. I do not recommend it on this low. Do not SLI crossfire on a power supply this low unless you got some really old cards. Unless you're running like 3650s or 8600s. You don't do it. It's just you might with everything maxed out, with everything under load, processor, your sound card, your hard drive, your GPUs, you might strain the processor. The rails might not be able to handle it. Okay, so this is what you want for a 4850 or a 9800 or an 8800. This is the kind of power supply you're looking for. Now, going into high-end quad core, going into single to dual high-end cards configurations, we want 2 260s, we want 2 4800s, we want a 2.6 overclocked quad core processor. You want an 850 watt power supply. Also, when you're going into this side, make sure it has that 80% certification on it. Now, I would recommend running 2 cards with this. This power supply will be able to handle it. It's designed, the rails were designed for it. This is $139, 850. Nice power supply. Modular, which means you take off the connections you don't need. Very, very useful when you're trying to create good airflow through the case. When you're trying to hide those cables, if you got a side panel you can see through, this is very useful for that. Now we're going up. We want 3 280s. We want, two 4870X2s. We're looking at a big 1,000 watt here or higher. From Antec, True Power Quadro 1,000 watt power supply. Now this will run your Tri-SLI. This will run your your Crossfire X. This is the high-end stuff here. Be prepared to pay for it too. $220. It is modular. 80% certified. Very nice power supply. What I would recommend personally is you grab an 850 watt, $140. And you don't have to get Antec. Get any power supply company you want. Make sure it's good though. Google it. You don't want to buy you do not want to buy a Walmart power supply here. Power supply is important. Power supply is more important than processor. Power supply is more important than graphics. If you can't supply the power, there's no use in buying the other components. You need a good quality power supply for a good gaming computer. So my recommendation would be 850 watt. That gives you the leeway of future-proofing your system with single card or even dual card solutions. An 850 watt should be able to run a single card 4 or 5 gens up the road. I don't know if it's going to run 2, but it might. It will run today's dual 4870s, today's dual 260s. It will probably, I'm guessing, it will run next generation's dual card high-end setups. It will run single slot, single card extreme setups. I do not recommend it for dual extreme or tri-extreme. I don't think it'll handle it personally. 850 is just not enough for that kind of configuration. You can run 4 3870s with this configuration. So this is what I'd recommend for the average gamer. If you can't afford it, 550, 650 will work. Don't buy 750. It's a weird number. It's got a weird price range on it. Go 550, 650, 850, 900, or 1,000 plus, depending on what you're using. So that's it for this show, guys. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Next show, I will get rid of the notepad, and we'll definitely get a background. I'll put some effort into it, I promise. So thank you for watching.